The New Jersey governor's primary election is this coming Tuesday, and there is a packed field of candidates. There are 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans running for the open seats. And joining us now to break down the race is Dr. Koning. She's a director of the Eagleton Center for Public Interest Polling. Thank you so much for being here. So let's first start with the Democratic candidates. Recent polls show that Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, that she's been leading the race. Why do you think she has this edge right now? And do you think she has this edge?
Yeah, Mikey Sherrill is kind of the establishment candidate on the Democratic side. She is kind of middle of left of center, middle moderate kind of candidate. And, we've seen an increasing lead for Mikey Sherrill in public pre-election polling throughout the past few months. But I would still say that potentially it may be almost anyone's game on the Democratic side still, because again, we're talking about a primary election where these are low engagement, low turnout, and we don't know exactly who is necessarily going to turn out to vote come election day. Now, Mikey Sherrill also has about half of the county organizations behind her and presumably those GOTV efforts, but she does have some pretty fierce campaigns leading in second and third from Baraka and from Fulop as well.
Wow. So again, I've been hearing that this turnout is going to be really big in this race. What do you think is kind of the number one issue for Democrats heading into this primary?
Yeah, I think the buzzword here is affordability. I think this is on both sides of the political aisle. New Jerseyans have perennially told us that the number one issue is for them taxes, and especially property taxes. And that's something that falls under that affordability umbrella when we're talking about the cost of living, when we're talking about the economy, whether nationally or within the state, to which New Jerseyans both give subpar ratings. So, affordability is really going to be key for any of these candidates to hone in on. How they interpret that and what that means to them, that's another story, but definitely something that will be addressed by both sides, presumably.
Turning to the Republican side, it seems like Jack Ciattarelli has a lead right now. Why do you think he has the edge right now in this race?
Yeah, he's the presumed front runner, and he's been leading by double digits for months now in any of the public pre-election polling. Again, New Jersey we get painted as this blue state because of our voting at a federal level since probably around the Clinton era. But let's remember that New Jersey is actually much more purple under the hood. We have some deep pockets of red and deep pockets of blue within the state, much like New York, where, there really are kind of these purple areas and throughout the state as well. And so Ciattarelli has the name recognition from running multiple times, being the nominee in 2021. And he is one of the candidates that is more establishment or moderate, once again, on the Republican side, as opposed to some of his opponents, such as Bill Spadea or Mario Kranjak.
How big of a role did President Donald Trump play in this race, both on the Democratic and Republican side?
So Trump is going to loom large over this race, very much so. When we polled this, 46% of Republican registered voters in New Jersey told us that an endorsement from the president would make them more likely to go for that candidate. Now, Ciattarelli has had somewhat of a back and forth tense relationship with Donald Trump over the years, and in 2021 decided not to embrace him. But this time around looks different, and he actually is besting kind of 2 MAGA-related candidates who are also within the Republican field with Spadea and Kranjak, especially going at it. And this was kind of a tense who would get the endorsement between Ciattarelli and Spadea. So this seems like something that's important. Trump is still popular among the party base in New Jersey. How much that Ciattarelli will lean into this Trump endorsement, especially come the general, especially with Democrats outnumbering Republicans by 1.5 in registration, and especially given Republicans really need those independents in the middle come the general, that remains to be seen.
And what are you going to be watching out for as we enter these last couple of days before the primary?
Yeah, again, it's all going to come down to turnout. So how many people are voting? Early voting may give us some sort of a mirage or, maybe almost a false indication because we don't know how many will vote early, versus who will vote by mail versus who will actually vote on election day. Historically, we've seen pretty low turnout in gubernatorial primaries in New Jersey that are in the low single digits. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that again. So really, it could be just a couple of tens of thousands of votes that could make a difference on either one of these sides.
Well, if you're listening out there, go and vote. I really appreciate you having you on, Dr. Koning. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you back on after this election is over. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.